And now a quick word from our sponsors here at Viral Hip Hop News.
If you are over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
Ambitious like his father and expands the drug operation to farther-reaching areas of New Jersey. Little do they know, there's a powerful force lurking in the corporate and physical world, watching the growth of the Lasbury regime. Grab the House of Lasbury in the description box right now.
Hey, yo, bring the fire all summer long with the Big Three and your homeboy Ice Cube. Starting July 10th on CBS, Thriller, and Fight TV. That's right, every Saturday. Bring the fire with the Big Three, baby. Yay, yay.
I don't remember the name of the square, but they was down there and they were protesting. If you go back and you look at it, was a documentary they did called Fist of Freedom. HBO put that thing on years ago. Mm-hmm. And they had a segment on there where they had this white fella. He was a representative of the United States Olympic Committee. And they asked him, they said to you, are you guys coming to the Olympics? His statement to them was, handle your business and we'll be there. The next day, they turned the guns on them students. Okay? They killed so many students. Then they talk about they killed 50. Then they talk about they killed 100. Then they talk about they killed 150. Now they might be up 2, 3, 4, 500. But in actuality, they killed close to 2,200 people. They killed so many people, man, they were throwing their bodies in the oven, in the trash, where they burned trash. And they couldn't put no more bodies in there. So then they got the Coast Guard, the cutters, and brought the bodies out in the ocean and dumped them in the ocean. In the meantime, they turned the guns on the students that were left and told them to go up into the hills and don't come down until the games are over. But then you sit back and you say, whoa, man, how is this possible? And we never heard anything about it.
Right.
I mean, they have people that tell you right now, that's not true. That's not possible. But yes, for 50 some odd years, they suppressed that. Right? Those lives is so irrelevant. It's just like they thought the lives of black people were so irrelevant.
So after all that aftermath, you're dealing with all of these real issues, and then here comes this race. And at the end of the day, it's a race, and it seems so minute, but you look at it, and that's one of my favorite events, the 200 meter, not only to run, but even to watch. And you're out there, and you guys are flying, and I'm watching it now, and I'm watching you and Mr. Smith fly around that last 100, and then you see Mr. Norman running, and so amazing. And then all of a sudden, here it comes, and you guys don't have any shoes on. You have the black socks on, and you have your jacket open, but all people want to pay attention to is the black fist. Can you talk about the moments after the race?
Well, let me lead you up a little bit before we get there.
Yes, sir.
We ran the quarter semi, and I approached Mr. Smith, and I told him, hey, Tommy, I was disenchanted about the fact that they didn't do the boycott. I think if we'd all stuck together, we'd have made a statement. So I was disenchanted. But I told him, I said, Tommy, I want to make a statement. What's your take on that? He said, I'm with you. When he said that, then I said, okay, man, what artifacts do you have? He said he had some gloves. I had some beads. He had a black scarf. I had a black sweater to cover my U.S.A. jersey. We were both wearing black socks. I took the Puma shoe out there because when I was a high school kid, I used to work for Puma. Before they knew who I was on the track, I was packing Puma shoes, sending them all over the country. Okay, so out of loyalty to Puma, I took Puma shoe and made Tommy and I put that Puma shoe on the victory stand with us because that was a part of my history as well. Okay, so as we got together and we decided what we were going to do, we had the black gloves to show black power. Okay, unification. We come together as black people. We become a very powerful force. Okay, I had the beads on my neck based on the fact that there were so many people that was lynched before my time, during my time, and hence my time. They're still lynching us.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had the black shirt on over my USA jersey. If you notice, I didn't have my uniform zipped up in the whole 9 yards. I had my uniform open because I thought about my mother and father and all the blue collar workers that make this country run. They gets no respect. I want to acknowledge them in this demonstration. I took my black sweater and put it over my jersey, my USA jersey. And people said, well, why did you put it over USA jersey? Say, because I was ashamed of America. Because I felt America could do so much better. And they turned to shit. When you think that they can take a spaceship and land it a half mile from where they say they're going to land it on the moon, but they're going to tell me that they can't stop hunger. They can't stop rodents. They can't stop roaches. They can't stop illiteracy. They can do anything they want to do and do nothing if they don't care to. And with us, it looks like they don't care to do anything but send us to work to make them a lot of money. Okay? Mr. Smith had the black scarf on his neck to illustrate black pride. Okay? We had a vested interest to go out there and be concerned about those individuals that was going in the South to and from school 5-10 miles a day that didn't have shoes on their feet. That was the essence of going out there with no shoes on our feet to show poverty. Okay? So now we got there, we made the demonstration, we walked out there. I remember we took the glove, put the glove down in our pants because we didn't want nobody to see the glove. We had the shoe in one hand walking out there with it. And we got to the victory stand. That's when we raised up and we raised the shoe and the glove fist. And people didn't know what was going on with that. And then when the national anthem came, the first thing that I thought about when that national anthem came was, oh shit, this is what that vision was about. This is what that movie was about that I saw when I was a little kid, 7, 8 years old. Because the exact same thing that happened in that vision happened on that victory stand. Everyone was jubilant, man. They was excited. Like I always say, they was yippee-ki-yay with excitement. And then like somebody hit a switch and the excitement turned to anger and venom and viciousness. They started spitting and throwing things and calling us names and telling us where to go. It was like, we went in on a sunny day, man, and by the time we came off, it was stormy weather. But yet and still, when I turned to walk off the victory stand, the first thing came to my mind was that you'll never be able to put John Carlos in chains ever again. You'll never bondage my mind or my body ever again in life. You'll never have the opportunity to do that. I'm a free man. Okay? And then I remember walking back, man, and hearing all the people it was like two sides, because the Mexican people, they understood what it was all about because they felt what we was doing because they was living it. White folks, there was a lot of white folks from America that was disenchanted about what they saw. Like we didn't have the right. They would tell us, we allowed you to go to the games. So I said, well, why didn't you allow your son to go? No, you didn't allow me to do anything. You set a standard. I met the standard. By the grace of God, I got on the victory stand. My 15 minutes in the sun is my 15 minutes. You can't dictate to me in terms of what I should do as long as I feel like I'm up there and not going to do anything that's going to disrespect my mother and father, like pulling my pants down and mooning them or giving them the finger. I would never do anything like that. But doing something dignified to get the message across, every day of my life, I'll step up to do that. Okay? So now we get back off the victory stand, and we had to give them a gesture as we were going out the stadium, put it back up, say, if y'all missed it on the stand, let me see. This is real. It was no joke. And when we got back home, everything locked down. Probably the deepest thing that got to me right away was all the individuals that I thought were my friends in the track game, many of them walked away. And it hurt me, man, probably for about 1.5 to 2 years. It hurt me until wisdom came to my mind and made me understand that, man, they're not walking away from you because they don't like you or they don't have respect or love you. They're walking away from you for fear of reprisal because they see what is about to happen to you or what's happening to you. So I understood that now. And I said, man, I have no misgivings about what they felt or how they felt. But then you sit back today in modern time, everybody right now want to claim that they had some association with that demonstration. That's the deep thing. That's the heavy thing right now. Everybody want to claim that, I had something to do with it. I had this fantasy. Okay? But it makes me feel also good to know that it has resonated for 53 solid years. And that mushroom is getting bigger and taller and expanding more and more every day, to the point when you sit back, you say, on the far ends of the earth, if they didn't know how to deal with racism, bias, and prejudice through that demonstration, they know how to deal with it now.
Dr. Carlos, I want to ask you, when you and Mr. Smith did that demonstration in 1968, did you have any idea that, over 50 years later, we'd still be dealing with the things that we're dealing with today, similar to what you guys dealt with and what our ancestors dealt with prior to that?
Well, let me tell you this, man. I knew that I was in a very unique situation. I knew I was a very unique individual. And, like, people talk about dying, man. Whether I die today or I die next year, the bottom line is I'm dead. You understand? I would prefer to die like, you think about how many slaves, man, jumped overboard and said I would prefer to go to the bottom of the ocean on my own accord than to have them put me in bondage for the rest of my life. You understand? Mm-hmm. So when you sit back and you think about, where we were in terms of what we were looking for, there had to be strong individuals. They had to have that message. They had to have the study, the mindset to say, man, I understand why I'm doing this. I understand what the outcome should be, what it has to be. You understand? It's a lot of us, man, we hear the word slavery, but we don't know the essence of slavery. You understand? And until you can feel what slavery really was, man, you really can't get in the fight. And I don't think a lot of people understood at that time. I think they're starting to get the cap screwed off the jar now, where they're really starting to get the essence of, man, if they're doing this much to us in 2020, 2019, what was they doing in 1819?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, sir. We're
starting to understand now the gravity of what we are. But like I say, this is the early stages. And remember, we doing this, man, we got to do this based on true grit. We got to do this based on unity. We got to do this based on our knowledge to pass down to our kids to make them stronger. You understand? Because this is not no overnight cure. This is something that's been going on for 450 years, 500 years this has been going on. So in 500 years of damage, you think that we can do it in 5 years and make things right? How did they suppress us all this time? They suppressed us because they were unified in what they did. Unification, man. That's how they suppressed us. They got together, even though they didn't like each other. They would come together just to stop us. And I still see that same situation today. They will come together to stop us. I would go back to what I said to you earlier about religion. Mm-hmm. If you sit back and you think about everything that happened relative to prejudice, bias, bigotry, racism, it evolves around religion. If you sit back and you think about who's the most disacknowledged man in slavery, I'm asking you a question. Who's the most disacknowledged man in slavery?
Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip bars is back. Hip hop, Sam and oh God, what's up with you? I done watched them niggas do interview after interview. They not culture vultures, the culture.